Mikey. All right.
Okay. Hi.
Hey.
Well, welcome to the compost pile. We are so happy today. I am so thrilled to have my dear friend Amy Kern join today on the compost pile.
Sorry, this is Mikey.
With Mikey, the
Yeah, he's our newest
baby of the
baby.
family.
Yeah,
We're
sorry.
we're going to be talking a lot about creaturekin today too, I'm sure. So this is fun to have Mikey pop on screen. But Amy and I have known each other for uh, quite a while,
30, like 30, no, 25 at least.
at least 25 years. Yeah,
Plus his Jack's
and
25. Yeah.
um, with a lot of interaction in many different ways. We share a great love of creation um, and just how we live our lives. But I'm so happy to have Amy today because she does something extraordinary with Marcel in the world, and I wanted to just give everyone the opportunity to get to know her a little bit, her journey, and what makes her tick. So, thank you, Amy, for being here today. And I'm just going to ask you to start. I'm going to bring up a photo in a minute, but I'm just ask you to start today to let our listeners know who you are and how you came to be who you are in a Reader's Digest version.
Yeah. Yeah. I still pinch myself because this is our life out here is amazing. And I started off in Omaha. So I was born in Omaha, raised in Omaha, never lived anywhere else but Omaha, which um, I don't know, it's a population of like 600,000. So we went from that to living in the country about 12 miles outside of a town that's 6,000 people. So needless to say, that was a huge culture shock, but in a very, very good way. So basically, we were looking at becoming empty nesters. My kids were off to school and moving, and we wanted maybe 5 acres for some goats because my husband is obsessed with goats for some reason. Um, and we just wanted a little bit of land, downsize the house, live a nice, peaceful country life. Well, we ended up, I looked for 3 years for a property. Um, we finally found Best Nest Farm. So we went from wanting 5 acres to actually getting 50. Uh, we don't have our goats yet, but we have a lovely herd of alpacas that we love dearly. We have ducks. We have outdoor cats. We have two fabulous guardian dogs. Um, so we came out here, we enjoyed it. Friends came to visit. People loved it. They wanted to stay. They wanted to come out here just to hang out because it's such a peaceful place. So then we thought, well, maybe we can make this a business. So we went to a glamping convention in Denver, Colorado. That was 2021. Yes. And it was a national convention. I mean, we were blown away with how many people were opening glamping businesses from the small mom and pop, throw a tent here to corporate like Marriott. Developing land for camping and glamping. So um, we thought, our place is set up to where we could do that. We're on a lake, we have kayaking, we have fishing, we have a paddle boat that our families love to use, we have the farm animals. It's just a beautiful, beautiful place, and that we're so blessed to be. So um, we went back again the following year and we decided that I have a little picture right here. We decided we'd get a couple of these covered wagons. I don't know if you can see that very well,
Yes, you
but
can.
they are decked out. I mean, we have
Yes,
a
they are.
bathroom, we have a hot shower, sink, flushable toilet, a real toilet that flushes. Um, we have air conditioning, heat. We've got beds in there, microwave, fridge. But then you open the door and step outside, and you're just surrounded by just gorgeous view of the lake. We have trees, we have pasture, we have farmland. Um, so yeah, we decided to undertake this, and here we are, and we are starting our second full season we started off like late summer of 23. People, we were an Airbnb and, we had a few customers here and there and it picked up in the fall. This last year, we had to block off time for ourselves because we were booking every night of the week, which was amazing. We've met some great people and hosted some really nice families that are coming back for the second and third time. Um, so yeah, I could just go on and on and
Well,
on.
here is the website for Best Nest, and want to just, I don't know if you can see that okay, but you'll see when you go to the website all the wonderful things about this place. But I feel like the pictures, even the pictures, don't always do it justice. When I'm there, it's a peaceful place of serenity. You immediately get get that incredible feeling of being almost overwhelmed by just the creature kin singing and playing and trouncing around the alpaca, their joy, and just the exuberance of the place. The trees, the prairie grasses, everything's singing to you. So thank you for that, Amy, and for giving us, kind of the condensed description of how you got to be there. I'm wondering if you could speak a little bit about what it was. I mean, you were on a different vocational path for some time, and how this evolved, how this tied in. What was it that drew you to want to do Best Nest Farm?
To actually start the glamping business
No, to
or just to move out
just
here.
to, yeah, just to be in nature and do this, kind of dance with nature that you guys do with your creatures and your
Yes.
land.
Well, I've always loved the outside. I mean, even since I was a little kid, I love to be outside, digging in the dirt, digging for worms, climbing trees, picking strawberries out of my dad's garden. I've always loved the outside. I feel, I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe. At peace or at one. I mean, that sounds kind of goofy, but I love um, nature. So, and we were missing that, in our last house, we had a big, beautiful house, but I mean, I didn't even have a garden. I don't even think you could put a garden in because of the HOA crap. And out here, it's like, hey, if I want to plant, wildflowers in this field, it's my land. I'm going to scatter the seeds, and there's something. I don't want to sound cheesy, but like magical about this place. I mean, if I could, I would hug it. I don't know how to describe it better. When I'm gone, when I'm away from here, I can do a day or two, but I just want to come back because the more we're here, the more I feel connected and the more I get to know the creatures and I see the patterns of which birds fly away, which birds come back in the spring, which are, I have my favorites. And I heard my favorite little black-capped chickadee yesterday. Oh, I mean, it just made me so happy to hear his little doo-doo. I'm getting off track. Sorry.
No, you're
So,
not.
so what I enjoy most about the business is it gives people that same feeling, that I am so lucky to have every day. It gives families with kids who, aren't exposed to animals or the outdoors or fishing, or it gives them the opportunity to show their kids something different and spend time here. I love the fact that we don't have Wi-Fi out in those wagons. And it forces kids to get off the phone, get off the laptop, walk around, take hikes, play with the dogs, appreciate nature. And kids are so enthusiastic out here. They're like, I want to see all the animals. What else do you have? Do you have other animals? Can we feed that? And it's just it's fun. For the adults, I've had more people tell me that they needed this break, this stress reliever, this just peaceful getaway. And And I mean, I'm blown away at like their sincerity, you know? It's like my job drives me crazy, but being out here for 2 days, oh my gosh, you don't know what a blessing that is to me. So to me, that's what it's about here. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, thank you. I mean, you're saying things like, peace and how that brings you a sense of peace. I've noticed how many, times have I said this to you that since you've been there and doing this work, and it is intensive labor of
yeah,
work. I mean, it's work every day. It's a
yeah.
lot of labor
Mhm.
you do, but you have this groundedness, this gravitas, this spirit of peace about you. And it's just beautiful to see. And I know experientially getting people to connect with that does that for them, right? Lowers the blood pressure,
Mhm.
it takes your heart rate down, the cortisol levels, everything starts, tamping down and you feel grounded, right? I
Mhm.
wonder if you could share a little bit about how this nature stuff kind of interfaces with your spiritual life. Because again, I've known you for a long time, and we were, we played music together in churches, and
Mhm.
we did a lot of kind of traditional religious services and so forth. But what is it about this and this way of being that affects your spirituality?
I would say definitely that it deepens it. I think the biggest way for me is just to witness the miracle of life. And it still blows me away. So last winter, it took me like the third year to finally figure out how to grow seeds indoors into plants. The first 2 years were just awful. I had these little, oh, it was just awful. So I worked at it and I learned more and I bought this, these cool lights and germinated them and all that. So anyway, it blew my mind and it still does that a tiny, tiny little size of the head of a pin turns into a 7 foot glorious blooming, flowering. It's mind-boggling to me. And I don't think I'll ever get over that. And it's just the miracle of, the trees budding, how everything works in nature and is meant to, I don't know. It's just, the mushrooms in the fall. I mean, the gorgeous wildflowers that just reseed themselves. It's the animals, the birds. I think that connects me more to God than sitting in a church pew. I mean, I'm not bashing that. I'm just saying for me, I it, it I have a deeper spirituality because of it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, thank you. I totally
yeah.
resonate with what you're saying. And I mean, I think, one of the things that we've always, you and I have always been dog people. We've loved our dogs over the years, and you do grow attached and all that.
Mhm.
When you see though this interface of how, the dogs work, to kind of protect and defend, they're keeping track of everything and everybody, in the perimeter of the land. But then you have these incredible alpaca and just their exuberance and their quirkiness and the weird interface. And when you have people there, human creatures there, and then you have dogs and you have all these birds, and this is all interacting together and seeing, you talked about the miracle of life and seeds coming into fullness. What is it, I mean, that spark of life that, when you're working your tail off and you're getting everything ready and you're hosting guests and all that, what is it that you have to just stop and say, oh my God, that is so cool? I mean, it's this the growth, right? It's this incredible growth. What about those creatures, and what is it that happens in you when all their weirdness and their beauty comes online?
All their weirdness. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I will say the alpacas are just um odd little creatures, they're strange. And for people to see them for the first time, they look at them, they've got these big long necks and these big fuzzy ears and they're adorable, but they don't, I mean, they're just so unusual looking. So yeah, I sometimes like my problem is when I do chores, like my husband can do chores and be boom, boom, boom. He's very efficient. He's out of there. My problem is I stand there and I watch them and I watch them interact and I'm taking videos and I'm just enjoying them. And like 2 hours later, I'm like, oh crap, I gotta go feed the ducks or something like that. So, what was your question?
Yeah, just you're just answering it. You're just answering it. I mean, you become enthralled. I mean, they're just
Yeah.
when I was experiencing these beautiful alpaca that she has, and she can tell you all the names. And the ones that kind of kind of you take close to your heart because they're special and they have different personalities and whatnot. But
Mhm.
I was witnessing them pronking
Oh, yeah, yeah,
and the energy of that experience. I mean, because we had dogs and zoomies and cats and their
yeah.
their mischievous, funny ways of being in the world and how they stalk and the cool things that you observe. But when you're around these alpaca, and you see them pronking, or they do come to you, with your open
Uh,
hands and
if you have food in them.
whatever you're feeding, and they can't because their eyes are out here, right?
Mhm.
You're gentle, and it's a reverential sort of approach.
Mhm.
But that experience, just their energy and their their goodness. You want to just tell us a little bit about that or what
Well,
happened?
it's most fun when they every day. So overnight we keep them in the corral, which is has an extra fence for overnight. And then we open the gates to let them out in the pasture in the day. And sometimes they are so excited. They're like, doing all these weird little, I don't even know what you call them. And sometimes the boys will come up and do like a chest bump and then they'll run off. It's just hilarious. So guests really enjoy seeing that. They're like, look at them, they run. So yeah, they still amaze me. We might be having two babies this spring, one or two or none. I'm not sure. We took them to the breeder, and one of the females didn't cooperate quite, but you never know. I don't know. I'm a little nervous, but the babies, we got our babies when they were 6 days old, and talk about cuteness like overload, baby alpacas. Oh man.
Yes,
Yeah.
cuteness overload.
Yeah.
Yes, truly,
Our
truly.
babies are boys. We have two boys. They're almost 3. They'll be 3 in May, but I still call them my babies, and I talk to them like my babies. And my son's just like, oh, mom.
Yeah, it's hard not to mother a bit, when you're in
Yeah.
that caretaker role, and just that tenderness and that care. I mean, you have background in medicine, and that side of it, the biology of that, but it's also that kind of tenderness, the care and the love, and you miss it. Like if you're not around them for a day or two, you
Mhm.
miss them
Mhm.
terribly, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And that's kind of the energetic relationship, that piece of it that people who aren't animal people, might not understand, but it's palpable, and when you come by you guys, it really does come alive, right? It makes sense. um, what
Yeah.
do you notice most about how this is for your day-to-day life? I mean, I know it's a lot of work, and it's taxing physically. What do you notice about your spirit as you go through your days?
I would say I'm happiest when I'm outside. When I have to be indoors, I'm kind of crabby. I don't like of course, I don't like the administrative part of this so well, that kind of thing. Luckily, Marcel does a lot of that. Um, but yeah, when I'm outside, I mean, the peace that overcomes you, I would guess. I mean, even when it's cold out, we're forced outside because we have to take care of the animals, but it's a good thing. Um, the fresh air, the sun. we haven't had hardly any snow at all here, which is strange. But um, you just have to be out here, you know?
Yeah.
It's hard to describe.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I know. I know.
Um, when we bought this place, the owner, they had been here for 25 years, and he had showed us around, and he's done so many wonderful things out here. I mean, we've got a beautiful barn and observation tower. I mean, he's done just some incredible things. And I know he was sad to leave. He had been here for 25 years, but taking me around, he said to me, he's like, this place is special. He's like, this place is magical. And I'm like, yeah, you own it, whatever. It is. I don't, there's something about it. And people pick up on that and they want to come back. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's good,
Yeah,
good.
there is. There's a certain
Yeah.
magic about it, and it's at different times of the day and different, cadences of the seasons, the rhythms of,
Mhm.
morning and afternoon, evening. And then as you welcome people there, their energy interfaces with all of that, right?
Mhm.
And then there are those quiet moments when it's just you guys and the birds and Dorothy the duck and
Yeah.
David Edward and all the wonderful just being there, right? And it's healing
Mhm.
for people.
Mhm.
It's immensely healing. Um, just one more question about what is it that you would tell someone who has kind of nature deficit disorder and needs a day needs a day with you guys? What is it that they would most have to look forward to at Best Nest?
Mhm. Trying to think what people like the most. Um, I mean, they love the animals. Feeding the alpacas, feeding the ducks is a huge draw. But at night we've got fire pits. They On a clear night, it's gorgeous out here. I mean, the stars are bright, and if they like to get out on the water, people love to kayak. Our kayaking, and we have about 13 acres of water here. And the kayaking is really cool because it's a dam. So I mean, it was flooded and the trees are still there. So you're going around these trees and last year, one of our guests took a really cool picture. We have kingfisher birds out here. Kingfisher mama with her nest. We have, okay, my favorite, I can't believe I haven't mentioned this. We have a pair of blue herons out here. They are spectacular. And when guests see them flying over the water, I mean, it's the coolest thing. They're tall, they're like 4 feet tall.
Yes.
They leave during the winter and uh, they leave like really late fall, early winter, and then they come back. Yeah, I've been noticing like end of March, maybe beginning of April. So just the nature, we have bald eagles, we have um, in late summer we have dragonflies just like crazy out here, and they're gorgeous. So people are like, wow. Some people have never seen a dragonfly. So what was your question?
Well, it's just that it just you can tell. I mean, listening to you, you can tell the exuberance in your voice. You clearly love this, not just this area, the beauty of the land and the trees and the, all that, but the creatures. I mean, and waiting for the herons to come back, and when they arrive, the herons are back, and how that makes you feel. I mean, I guess, if we could leave people with something. Just to remind us, right, of the beauty of the day. It's poetry, right?
Mhm.
When you're there and you're immersed in all of this, it comes out as kind of poetry, because poetry is the language of earth and the beauty of earth. So much so that you can't really, you've said 100 times already, I can't put it into words. And I think poetry, music, art does that. And I want to leave our listeners today with a little bit of Mary Oliver, because I feel like Mary, of course, as a poet, laureate, caught so much of what you're talking about, Amy. And we could choose any one of, hundreds of her poems, but the one I wanna say today is called "When I Am Among the Trees." And this is what I would say, if you get a chance, listeners, to get to Iowa and Best Nest Farm and proprietors Amy and Marcel, I would highly, highly recommend it for your soul. I think it's a fantastic, grounding, energetic place to be a one with nature and to fall in love again with your own soul. So I leave us today with a bit of Mary Oliver. When I am among the trees, especially the willows and the honey locusts, equally the beech, the oaks, and the pines, they give off such hints of gladness. I would almost say that they save me, and daily. I am so distant from the hope of myself, in which I have goodness and discernment, and never hurry through the world, but walk slowly and bow often. Around me, the trees stir in their leaves, and they call out, "Stay a while," and light flows from their branches. And they call again. "It's simple," they say, "and you too have come into the world to do this, to go easy, to be filled with light, and to shine." So, from the poetess to you, Amy, thank you so much for talking
Mhm.
with me today.
That was lovely. That
Thank
was
you
awesome.
for sharing with me and our friendship. And that's all for today, lovely readers, lovely listeners. I'll see you soon. Thanks, Amy.